I got a stack of slab wood here. Most people would chunk that stuff or burn it, maybe throw it back on the sawmill to cut it down. Got another stack over here. It can make some 1x6s and some 1x10s, but I do have a job for some 1x10s, so I need to cut some of this stuff down and utilize that wood. But before I get started, I got one upgrade I've been wanting to do to this range road board edger. Now originally, I was going to build a fence for this side of the machine, but after thinking about it a while, I think I've come up with something that'll work a lot better. If you're new here, I'm Chris with Standard Living Homestead. Around here we try to squeeze every dollar we can out of every log that comes across this sawmill. And today, we're going to be upgrading this range road hydraulic board edger, then putting it straight to work. Let's get to it. What's going on, folks? It's another scorching hot day here in Georgia. I don't know about where you're at, but we just can't get no relief around here. It's crazy hot. But we're back down here at the sawmill. And no, I haven't got a roof on yet. I didn't get to work on that this weekend, or this last weekend. But we're back down here. We've got a lot of work to do. The last few days, we've been ripping and running through some work. Had a lot of jobs to get out, and we got a lot of jobs out, which is great. But I didn't have any time to record, so sorry about that. But we're back down here now, and we're taking care of that issue. I still got work to do, but I figured I'd try to squeeze some video in there, just so you guys didn't think I forgot about you. But we're down here with the range road board edger today. I got an upgrade I want to do. And if you follow this channel along for a while, you saw how awesome this board edger is, how great it worked, and what an added benefit is to our sawmill. But as great as this board edger is, it does have one flaw that I found. It's not really a flaw, but something I didn't like. I'll show you. This edger is awesome. It's fast, it's accurate. However, the factory scale that comes with it is not that great. As you can see here, it's got your inches and your metric, or your standard and metric, however you want to call that. But it's not that great, and it starts everything from over here, 6 inches, 10 inches. The problem with that is this is a 2-blade edger. So when you have one blade stationary somewhere on here, you don't know where to start at. You have to deduct that or whatever, but I've heard, people just write on them or tape on some kind of scale. But if you've seen some of my previous videos, I printed my own scale for the sawmill, and what I did with this is I went ahead and cut off the inch side and left the 3/4 and the quarter scales. And what I did with that is, so it's magnetic. So what I do is throw that up there and it fixes all the problem. I was going to build a fence for this thing because when I'm cutting boards on one side, you kind of, most edgers have them. You have a fence that folds over and that thing lines up with your stationary blade. Now that stationary blade, I do move it around. So the problem I found with that is if I throw a fence on here, it'll be welded unless I make it some way I can adjust it easily. If I need to move that thing to 4 inches or 3 inches, the stationary blade, then it screws up my fence. So what I came up with, I just come up with this magnetic scale, and I can throw that on there and adjust it wherever I want to in correlation with the blade where it's at. Now I'm one-handed here, so anyway, I got to readjust it now because I pulled it off. But this blade is right now, it's sitting at 3 inches, so probably about right here. So I'll start that scale from here, and that gives me my measurement for the moving blade. But with the thought of making that fence and me moving that blade around sometimes, that fence just isn't going to work. However, there's another solution. So I've come up with another scale. So I'm going to put this one on this side, go in the opposite direction. That way my moving blade, I'll be able to measure it easily and use this whole edge right here as a fence. Because the edger naturally comes with a nice straight edge right here, and I'll just use that for my fence. I don't know why I didn't think about it before. It's something that's stupid simple, and it's going to work out perfect. And it's a way better idea than putting a fence on here because it's already here. You already have a natural fence. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to be cutting all this lumber up. I got to make some 1x10s for a customer. And no need throwing logs on here when I got a ton of slab wood here that will actually make 1x10s. And I got a bunch over there too. So we're going to get all the 1x10s and 1x6s and 1x8s that we can out of this stuff before we throw another log on. Because we do got to get some jobs out. And I'll take you along and show you the little upgrades. It's going to change this edger forever. So first of all, I'm going to need a tape measure because when I move this thing around, I don't know where it's at now. I'm going to put this one back on first, and I'm going to adjust it to where it needs to be. Right now we're setting at 3 inches, so I'm going to put this actually just right there at 3 inch and a 1/16. So that side is set. Now we need to get this one on here and make sure it's accurate. And it's very simple. There's not much to this upgrade. Super simple upgrade, as long as I can move it far enough over. So, all right, so that's my 10-inch mark right now. Let's see where we're at on the blade on the side here. So yeah, we're at 10 1/8 right now, which I think is fine again because a lot of these boards, they're going to be green and they are going to dry, and I guarantee you they're going to lose 1/8 of an inch. So I think we're good right there, 10 1/8. So what I'm going to do is adjust this to 10 inches. So that's it right there. We're perfectly on 10 1/8 right now, or right at on the scale up top. So yeah, we've got that set now. So now we don't need a fence. We already got a fence. So now all we do is go off this top measurement right here for our single-sided cuts, and the bottom measurement is for our double-sided cuts. Super stupid simple, like it should be. We're gonna blow this thing out before we get started cutting though, because we got a lot of mess in here, sawdust. Not too bad. I try to keep it blowed out pretty good. I might shoot a little WD-40 on here, but I do have some grease on these shafts. So if you've got a range road board edger or something similar, this should work fine for you as well. You don't have to have a fancy magnetic scale or anything. You can literally use a piece of tape. You could actually use a tape measure. Take an old tape measure, cut it, and put some magnets on it, and it works the same way. Now I gotta put some charged batteries in my CC blower here. Turbo blower. This thing is pretty awesome. Now, if you're new to this channel and you hadn't seen this board edger, this thing has been phenomenal. It has been a huge asset to our sawmill. It's really sped our production up. We never knew how bad we needed one until we got this one right here. Now, this thing is a dual blade edger. It has a dual hydraulic belt feed system, and the end feed capacity is 24 inches. It comes with a 15 horsepower Rado engine. You got an easy to use locking handle for your board widths. You got your hydraulic levers with your flow control. Super easy to maintain. You pop the covers off, you grease everything. Belts are easy to change. Chains are easy to fix. Everything about it's just been phenomenal. And this edger really has changed our world down here at the sawmill. We get a lot more production out of this thing. We save a lot more lumber. We don't throw away near as many scraps anymore because all the slab wood we have, we can run it right to that edger, whether it be a 1x12 or a 1x2 or 1x3. We do a lot of siding work, board and batten stuff, so we're always doing battens. Almost every slab wood that comes off your sawmill can at least make a 3-inch board. And if you want to learn more about this edger right here, I got a link in the description. You can check it out. And if you want to order one for yourself, you can mention Standard Living and you'll get a free set of blades for this thing. Now this is hands down the most budget-friendly 2-blade board edger you're going to find in its class anywhere on the market. I guarantee it. Well, I can't officially guarantee it, but I've searched long and hard for an affordable board edger that would do the work we need it to do, that's something that's heavy duty and will stand up to the work we throw at it. And if you're poor like me, I can't go out and buy a $15,000 board edger. This thing right here, coming in at $5,500, you cannot beat it. If you want to put that in perspective, that's just the price of a $1 cup of coffee every day for 5,500 days. But that's enough talking. Let's get this thing fired up, and I'll show you how easy it is to make money with this thing. All right, here's what we got so far. We got 1x10s, 1x8s, and 1x6 stack. So we're just making whatever we can out of these boards. I was going to cut these down, but if you look, these are 1/2 inch. I don't even know if I can use those. I was going to use them on a building over there. I may still do that, but I can't use them for this stuff right here because these need to be 1-inch boards. But we got a few out of that stack right there. Otherwise, crappy boards, a lot of bluing in them. I know the 10s are going to go to a board and batten job. They have to be 12 foot long. The 8s, I'll have to plane those down because the customer wants some 3/4 8-inch boards and some 3/4 6-inch boards. So I'm going to have to plane those down to 3/4. Now those are also going to be 8 foot long, so I have to cut them off where they cut them off at 8 foot after I plane them. And I've still got all these boards right here. I'm going to scoop these up with a bobcat and take them over there. Some of these are kind of small. I think those small ones I'm going to make my 1x3s out of. Like, you can't really get much out of that. You can get a 1x3 out of it. But the rest of this stuff, I can get 1x6s, 1x8s, and some 1x10s. But as you can see, this Range Road board edger does not disappoint. This thing is awesome. And I'm really liking the scale right here. This thing works out perfect now. It's easy to go back and forth and switch. Before I was trying to measure off of this bottom line right here, but it's backwards, so now with that scale there, it makes it a whole lot nicer and easier. Super simple. All right, I'm going to lose daylight here. Had to go in earlier because it's storming, and it really didn't storm, but it did lightning and thunder quite a bit. So I don't want to get struck down by lightning, so I went up for a little while and cooled off. However, it's a lot hotter now, and now we have absolutely no wind, so it's just stagnant. But I'm going to go ahead and get this boards on here. I'm going to get them stacked up over here on these saw horses and get them ready to start running through this edger. Now generally when this stuff comes off the sawmill, I like to stack it in kind of like sizes. So anything I know that'll make an 8-inch or a 6-inch, you know, I stack those together. With this stuff here, I was kind of in a rush. I was sawing on the sawmill and just kind of slinging it off the back of the sawmill, letting it stack up on its own. This is when I was cutting those posts the other day. So all this is slabs from cutting those posts out of those pines. The 6x6s I cut last week. So they're all different sizes. And most of these have live edge on both sides. So they will have to run through the double-sided plate. I don't think I'm going to be cutting anything more than 10-inch and anything less than 6-inch right now. Anything smaller, I'll throw over to the side right here, and we'll save that for our 3-inch battens. I'm going to set this camera up over here and put you on a time lapse so you can watch it in fast forward time. Now I'm going to show you how we use that hydraulic Range Road board edger to take all our scraps and waste wood and turn it into money.
I look out across the water, I smell the song, I feel the breeze, but in my heart I hear the calling of my old home, Tennessee. We don't know where these rivers flow, or why the wind chooses when and where to blow. The sun is gonna rise each and every time, but I've still got Tennessee on my mind. From Leapers Ford to Watertown, and maybe Johnson City or Memphis bound. No matter where I go, no matter what I see, I still hear the calling of Tennessee. Who we don't know where these rivers flow, or why the wind chooses when and where to blow. The sun is gonna rise each and every time, and I've still got Tennessee on my mind.
Man, it is hot. All right, check this out. We got 12 1x10s, 12 1x8s, and 8 1x6s. Not too shabby for scrap wood that's probably going to get thrown away anyway. maybe we wouldn't have thrown it away. I would have cut it down regardless, but yeah, a lot of people would have thrown that away. Or like I used to, like that pile over there, set it to the side for one day I can get around to edging them on the sawmill, and never did. What we got left here is just those 1/2-inch boards, and I've got a couple of 2x6s up here, and one 1x6 is kind of funky. I'll make a stack for 1x4s too, and get started on those later, but right now, that's what we got. So the one job I have for the 1x8s and the 1x6s only requires 18 1x8s and 28 1x6s. So we're a good start already on the job. We only have to cut up a few more boards to make this job happen, and we'll probably use some of that dry lumber over there since this stuff right here is pretty dry, because we're going to plane that down and get it down to 3/4. Now for the job with the 1x10s, so we got 48 of those to do. So we've already a quarter way in right there. We got 12 of those. But we're going to grab some more logs and start cutting those tomorrow, and we'll get the rest of that job done. That upgrade is amazing. It works just as well as I thought it was going to. That's really going to speed things up when I got stacks like this right here that was just all over the place with multiple size boards. But it makes it a lot easier to be able to adjust that thing back and forth to cut the boards to whatever size I need. So a much needed upgrade. I'm glad we got it done, and maybe it can help some of you guys out there if you have a range road board edger or a different edger that kind of works the same way. And we do have some lasers for this thing. I showed them in another video, my green lasers I got for the edger. I've got to order a few parts. I've got some stuff on the way, some stuff's here, and I got a few more parts to order, trying to figure this out. An easy way to mount those lasers so they don't vibrate and shake all over the place. But I do have 2 green lasers for the edger, the line lasers. They're going to be awesome. I can't wait to get those on there. I need to get back on that project and get it done. We just got lots of other projects to do. Got to get this roof on. Got to get jobs out, but it's coming. And on another note, we have the Hot Springs show coming up. The Norwood Show, it's in Hot Springs, Arkansas. That'll be the end of September. And then the Bunyan Show is like a week after that in October up in Ohio. I'd love to see you guys if any of you are going to those shows. It'd be nice to meet some of you guys in person. If you can't go, we understand, but I sure would love to see you there. And if you're wondering about those dates for the Norwood Show and for the Bunyan Show, I'll drop that in the link in the description as well for info on those shows and dates and times and when that's going to be. And again, I apologize about last week. I only got one video out. Sometimes work comes before the videos because we do have to make money. Right now, I'm not a YouTube star. YouTube's not paying me enough to quit my day job, so unless you guys subscribe. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, go hit that subscribe button. Hype this video, like it, share it with your friends. We need as many subscribers as we can. I think we're at almost 5,000 right now, which doesn't pay the bills yet, but we're getting there. We're going to get there. And we appreciate you guys taking that journey with us. But again, if you haven't subscribed, go hit that subscribe button if you'd like to. It really helps the channel out, and we'll see you on the next one.